Toastmasters and guests. Before I start, I'd like everyone to relax and take a step back. Imagine that you are just 10 years old. Can we do that? Yes? Back when you were a little child. Why? Because I'm going to tell you a folk story. Folktale story. Come, quick, everybody, gather around the fire. We're going to have a feast today. So all the tigers gathered around the fire, and they were very happy because today they have caught the goat. And they put the goat up there and started the barbecue. So many years ago, how the tigers eat or take their meal was under the fire. They actually ate cooked food. And this fire was passed on for many years from their ancestors, passed down, and they were told not to diminish the fire. So one day, while tiger was having a meal, and there was a little cub, this little tiger cub called Kit, K-I-T, was playing around the fire, and he was very curious, and he said to himself, hey, this is a very interesting thing, and I've not played this before. So he began to run around the fire and started trying to put out the fire. Obviously, he's trying to test his father's patience. The father, being the leader of the tiger's group, his name is called Jude. So this little cub kept playing, and suddenly he blew off the fire. He felt panic because this was the fire that he was told not to diminish. So this news was passed on, and all the tigers know about this incident. And the father Jude was very angry and scolded the little kid. So of no choice, and to ameliorate the situation, the father Jude has to go down to the village to get back fire. So he ran down into the river, across the jungle, and finally he came to this village. Being a tiger and big and fierce, one of the disadvantages is he will be shot by the villagers. So as he crept around and entered the village, he saw this leader of the village with a gun aiming at him. And he turned his head and he ran off back to his tiger's group. He had no choice. And the next morning, he had this idea. Why not I ask my little son, Kid, to go into the village and get a fire for us? Why? Because he's just a little kid and he's so harmless. So he got his son here and he told him, son, Kid, go down to the village and get back the fire for us so that we can have our meals again and we won't be starving. So the little kid said, okay. And as the little kid went off, he roamed around the river, he saw fishes flying around. He was actually amazed because this is the first time he stood out of his tigers. So when he reached the village, the first person he saw was a man milking the cow. And the milkman asked the little kid, hey little kid, we call him Cow, little cow, what are you doing here and what do you want? And the little kid scratches his head and says, my father asked me to come over here to take something back, but I couldn't remember what it is. And the milkman said, are you looking for milk? And the little kid said, no, I don't think so. So the little kid went off into the village again. And the next person he met was a lady who was fishing in a pond. And upon seeing this little cub, he asked again, hey, what are you here? What do you want from us? Is it a fish? And this little cub said, No. Oh, I couldn't remember. So he went off again. And he came to this place where there's a house and there are a lot of children playing outside. And he totally forgot why is he here and what he's supposed to do. So he played with the kids. And meanwhile, back in the jungle, the father Jude was very worried. Hey, what happened to my little boy? Why is he taking so long? So he decided to went down to the village and search for him. So he's afraid that he's being caught. So this father was crawling slowly into the village, hoping that he won't be caught by the villagers. And what happened to this little kid? He came to this house and he was invited by a family man into the house to have a meal. So this little kid went into the house and sat down. They offered him fish, milk, and some food. So this little kid saw, wow, it's something delicious. So he started to eat. And after a while, what happened? He began to feel drowsy and he fell asleep. So the father, Jude, was searching in the village and the bushes for him. And he tried to wave at him, but there was no response. So he has no choice but to turn back to the jungle. So what happened to this little kid? From that day onwards, this little kid, which is the cub, stayed with the family and became a tiger cat. And what happened to Jude and the other tigers? He went back to the jungle and they started to eat whatever food or animals they caught raw. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this little kid being spent time with the whole family, eating, drinking with the family and with all other cats around. And right now I'm going to ask you, what do you think is the moral of the story?
Write the list and give it to the cup.
Sorry, topic?
Write the list and give it to the cup. That is the cup first one.
Yes, you will take difficult for time to you.
Okay, the moral of the story is whatever reasons you give. I told this story to a group of children and they reminded me that you become whoever you mix with. So ladies and gentlemen, think about it. Thank you very much.